What is far deadlier than most people realize? Serious.
Quitting antidepressants cold turkey after regular use.
Been there, done that. Don't recommend.
Posted safety precautions. When there are signs saying something, lots ignore thinking they know better. I used to work IT for a place that makes big tractors. Different stations are restricted from using certain PPE. One day this lady was wearing the wrong gloves. Her station is only supposed to use latex. She didn't take that seriously and wore thicker reinforced gloves. She was using the lugnet machine that tightens 12 giant lugs at once. Her glove got caught, and instead of ripping the fingertip off of her latex glove, it ripped her thumb right the F off her hand. I witnessed it, and her mistake haunts me to this day. They had to restrain her while two men held her hand up in the air away from her. Her wails and screams were terrifying. All because she ignored a well-placed warning.
If there's a warning sign posted, I usually assume it's because someone already effed up and had that exact thing happen to them.
Holding your breath while scuba diving. To most people who don't scuba dive, it may sound harmless, but if you hold your breath and ascend even a little over a meter, you can suffer major lung damage as a result of the gas in your lungs expanding from the lessening pressure.
Vaccine. People seem to have this idea that a few drops of Vaccine in someone's drink will give them diarrhea, and do it to prank each other, or get some sort of satisfaction with petty revenge. People are sitting in prison for murder for doing this. The main active ingredient is called tetrahydrozoline, which is a vasoconstrictor. Once it enters your gastrointestinal tract, it can be absorbed by your intestines and end up in your blood, causing your blood pressure and heart rate to drop to potentially life-threatening levels. It really makes me wonder how many people have died due to people copycatting that scene in Wedding Crashers.
Tylenol. It's actually a lot easier to overdose on than most people realize, and it slowly destroys your liver over a period of days. Not a fun way to die, to put it lightly.
For all you high-functioning alcoholics out there, just avoid Tylenol.
Engulfment and confined spaces. With confined spaces, people usually don't realize that O2 runs out rather quickly. Engulfment because people probably don't think about essentially drowning in non-liquids.
I was taught young to never, never, climb into a silo. It may look cool, till the corn shifts and sucks you down.
Eating a slug. Obviously it's nasty, but kids do stupid poo as dares or even in hazing rituals. Slugs contain parasites that will get into your brain and effing kill you slowly.
I just read a whole article about rat lungworm in snails and slugs that is haunting me. Ew.
Real black licorice root extract contains the natural sweetener glycyrrhizin, which is over 50 times sweeter than sucrose. This ingredient has various pharmaceutical properties. It acts as an expectorant, facilitating removal of mucus from the lungs by coughing, and it increases blood pressure. The latter effect can become significant with a daily consumption of 50 grams or more of licorice candy for as little as 2 weeks. Glycyrrhizin can cause potassium levels in the body to fall, triggering abnormal heart rhythms, as well as high blood pressure, edema, swelling, lethargy, and congestive heart failure in some people.
I always loved going to Europe as a kid and finding the licorice candies with the "may cause hypertension" warning labels on them. Felt dangerous eating them. Ha ha. Infections can still F you up easily if you don't seek medication attention in time.
How long does it take? Because I have an implant infection and my dentist didn't want to give me antibiotics until I saw a specialist to see if the implant is salvageable. The specialist doesn't have any availability until a month and a half from now.
Abscess teeth can kill you.
I had an abscess at 21 that I didn't get treated until I was 28 due to a fear of the dentist. By that point it was a root canal and an extraction, and I now have a section of my jaw missing. Get it early and avoid this poo. Insulin. Looking at drops on a table, you can barely tell the difference between the therapeutic dose and a lethal one. Edit. If anyone can find the actual image of 2 doses of insulin on a table, I'd super appreciate it. I was going to post the link for reference, but I couldn't find it.
As a diabetic, it's a little scary, but luckily the cure is just eating sugar. And you can feel your blood sugar dropping low long before you're in real danger of dying. Unless you took some astronomical dose or something.
Shift work. The disturbance in your circadian rhythm takes years off your life.
I worked a 12-hour shift work job for a year that rotated between days and nights. I call it the blackout year because it's a giant year-long hole in my memory. All I did was eat, sleep and work. Struggled with indigestion regularly, Completely awful way to live.
Putting feet, legs on dash of car.
I stopped doing that after hearing a horror story from an EMT who went to a crash site where they found a passenger's legs thrown over their shoulders like a scarf. F that. Doing cocaine on birth control pills. Seen 20-somethings wind up with strokes and DVTs.
Acetaminophen. It's rough on your liver in large doses. I know a lot of people who ignore the recommended dose and pop them like they are Skittles for pain. This is incredibly dangerous. Link.
My pharmacy professor in med school mused that if acetaminophen hit the market today it would be a prescription D for this reason.
Medication. Those dosages on the labels are not just suggestions, y'all. Standing under waterfalls. Edit to elaborate. Loose rocks or debris from the river or stream above could fall and crush you.
Great. Now I'm scared of waterfalls.
Leaving potatoes for too long produces solanine gas that can kill.
Would that be before or after they start sprouting little stalks?
Windows. It's easy to think they're more secure than they actually are, which is especially dangerous in taller buildings. Falling through a broken window has a very high risk of a major laceration. Broken glass on the floor can again mess your body up spectacularly, and on certain surfaces it's really hard to spot even moderately sized razor-sharp pieces. Edit. LPT for those living in areas that are earthquake-prone. Keep a pair of slippers or sandals by your bedside. If there is an earthquake during the night, the chances are you will have picture frames that fell and shattered around your home, and you should have something hard-soled to walk on in that situation. Edit 2. Be a thoughtful human. If you break something made from glass, don't just toss the broken glass. Put it into a cardboard box, tape it so it's sealed, and write, "Broken glass," on the box. My parents use layers of newspaper and tape it up. You have no idea who might handle the bag with your rubbish in.
And recently, in Russian tall buildings particularly.
Sitting for long lengths of time.
Table corners, particularly low tables, you fall farther before striking the table, giving a greater impact force. For similar reasons, hard surface floors that are prone to be damp, e.g. tiled floor in a shower. This applies especially if the shower has a nice little built-up threshold between it and the rest of the bathroom. Experience this one firsthand stepping into a shower in a hotel room. Update. Wow, this has blown up. Please, stay safe, friends.
I almost lost an eye to a table corner once.
Horses. They weigh 1,200 pounds, they're extremely jittery, and they can crush you or kick you to death on accident. And that's just horses in general. Stallions will try to hurt you just to assert dominance. And these are animals that have been known to bite each other's throats out when they fight. Don't mess with horses unless you know what you're doing. Always be careful, even if you do.
A friend of mine from school always had horses, and was a truly excellent rider. She lived her life around horses, rode competitively, the whole deal. 1 year out of school, we heard she died, got kicked in the chest, I believe attempting to get a nervous horse out of the float. So absolutely sad, and definitely reinforced for me how much care to take. I'm also reminded of a relief teacher we had missing a finger, apparently bitten by a horse when she was younger.
Falling down. A single mild fall can easily kill you if you happen to land just right. Usually on the back of your head.
Don't walk downstairs with your hands in your pockets.
Birthdays. You were 8% more likely to die on your birthday than on any other day of the year.
That's interesting. Do you know why?
Liquid oxygen. It allows fire to reach such insane heat that it will burn through steel. Not melt. Burn.
It doesn't need to be liquid, just oxygen gas at like 20 psi will do it. That's how oxyacetylene torches cut steel, by heating it and then shooting a stream of oxygen through it that burns the steel. Edit. Another deadly fact about oxygen. Too much oxygen is actually toxic and can cause seizures. Breathing pure oxygen at sea level is fine, but increase the pressure by 1.6 times and it can cause oxygen toxicity. Which is a major factor when it comes to calculating gas mixtures for technical or commercial diving, because if there's too much oxygen in the mixture, oxygen toxicity isn't deadly in and of itself, but having a seizure while scuba diving can cause you to spit out your regulator among other things. Edit 2. Actually, I was mistaken. Oxygen toxicity can kill you in and of itself.
Stress.
Oh wonderful, now I'm stressed about my stress levels.
Hippos. They kill more people in Africa than lions do.
My father-in-law is from Egypt. 2 things scare him: hippos and rats.
Garage door springs. They will kill you.
Please elaborate. I've never given these things a second thought.
Choking during sex. There are right and wrong way to do it, and people definitely don't realize they're doing it the wrong way.
I remember hearing a 911 call recording years ago from a guy who was frantically trying to revive his wife because they were doing choking during sex. It was awful hearing him slowly realize he had killed her.
Mental abuse at any age. It doesn't matter if you think it's a joke or if others are doing it too. You have no idea what people are going through, and that one comment could be what pushes them over the edge. Even more so if it's a comment on something they are insecure about, or if you're not the only one saying it, or if it's repetitive. Machines. If you get casual around them, they will eat you.
Oh, the videos I've seen of people getting stuck in machines. Shudders. Stay safe around equipment.
Fights. People are way too eager to prove who's the bigger badass. Hit someone the wrong way or start something with the wrong person and someone's not going home. Then if the police show up, someone's getting charged. Depending on the severity of the other party's injuries and the word of witnesses, you could be going away for a very long time. Not to mention the civil suites that may bury you in debt.
Yup. I got sucker punched right above my left eye. 6 stitches and a fractured orbital socket, and had to stay overnight at the hospital for observation since it was a head injury. Since the injuries were from an assault, charges were automatically pressed and we found ourselves in court a few months later. All from a single punch. Cars. Very interesting how much society has normalized the dangers of the road. We often say things like, "You're more likely to die in a car accident than blank," which is intended to make blank seem safe, but it really tells us how many people are dying in car accidents all the time.
Yep. Once my sister was nervous to get in a plane flight when she was small, and my mum said, "Relax, you're orders of magnitude more likely to die in a car crash than in a plane crash." It didn't help, it just made her nervous to be in cars as well.
I'm still amazed whenever I go to a cleaning products section and see bleach and ammonia just chilling together. Like, that's a WW1 chemical weapon waiting to happen.
My first apt away from home. Older, stained tub. Mixed ammonia, bleach, and cleanser attempting to clean it, didn't rinse well. One breath. Seeing 3 of everything, I bolted out onto the lawn, landing on my hands and knees coughing, with a splitting headache. Gave myself some time to recover, thought about what I did. Took a deep breath, bolted back into the bathroom, turned the cold water on full, turned shower on, flung the window open, bolted back outside again. It cleared out, and I didn't do that again. Found out that 2 other women had died doing the same thing that year in my state.
Deer. Over 120 people a year die from deer directly, and another 175 to 200 from car accidents caused by deer, with some 10,000 injuries, and more deaths and injuries related to deer hunting. By the way, deer are pretty mean and terrible parents. I have seen a deer push her fawn ahead of her near the food, to see if there is a predator, then, if the fawn is okay, go out and hit the fawn to get at the food herself.
Eating disorders. They are the second deadliest mental illness next to opioid addiction. Edit. Some sources. One citation of this figure. Link. Yes, opioid addiction is a mental illness, according to the DSMV. Link.
I used to have a BMI of 17.5, not even anorexic, till my early 20s, and I can confidently say that it has fed me over big time. I'm a guy with a narrow build, I'm significantly smaller than both my mum and my dad, and I still have a toxic relationship with food. Eating is almost never an enjoyable experience for me. It's just a thing I do so I don't waste away. Can't imagine how much anorexia must suck as a mental illness.
Toxic relationships. Far too many suicides happen because of bad relationships and no other way out.
Former abused husband here. Finally got out because I knew I was going to kill myself if I didn't. Years of therapy, on suicide watch for a year. It's amazing how much you can be torn down.
Anything to do with the thyroid. It's a bit more well known nowadays, but when I first was diagnosed with Hashimoto's thyroiditis, they told me it was hypothyroidism at first. I didn't even know what the thyroid was. For people who might not know, the thyroid is a butterfly-shaped gland in your throat. Without getting into it too much, it releases hormones that regulate many things. You wouldn't expect this tiny little organ to be so important, but holy crap it is. I found out I had thyroid issues when I was 15 after I was constantly tired, had irregular periods, I've gone 2 months without a period before, my weight was out of whack, my mental health was constantly declining, and I had issues with breathing among other symptoms. Apparently if I hadn't started taking thyroid medication when I did, I would have gone into a coma within 2 weeks. It didn't help that I had a dad who constantly made fun of my weight and appearance even after finding out I had thyroid issues and learning how hard it was for me to lose weight. Turns out, his 2 sisters had hypothyroidism and his brother had hyperthyroidism. It took quite a few years to finally find hormonal balance, and I'm 20 now, but I'm doing a lot better than I was before, physically and mentally. Edit. Thank you all so much for telling me your stories and experiences. It's made me smile seeing that you guys are recovered. I'm not good with words and there's probably a lot I'm not expressing, but the test they do to check your thyroid, lymph nodes is painless and easy. There's a lot that can happen due to these glands, so have your doctor check if they don't do it automatically. You can never ask too many questions when it comes to your health. Smiley face. I wish everyone here the best. Orange heart, blue heart, orange heart, blue heart. Link.
Lack of exercise.
People think if they're sedentary but just eat so little that they don't get overweight, then they're just as healthy. Sadly, no. Simply being thin does not equate to being healthy. 100-calorie snacks are not saving your life, they're nothing but another sales tactic. A way to sell you less for more.
In a single year, there are 25 more deaths caused by pens than deaths caused by sharks. Everyone has at least one pen in his pencil case, but nobody has a shark in his pencil case.
Water. Water is effing dangerous.
Constipation. As an RN, I've seen too many people almost die from bowel obstructions. If you haven't pooped in a week, I'd be very concerned if I were you. Edit. How not to die from your own poo. 1. Water plus fiber. Too little water, you die. Too little fiber, you die. Balance is key. 2. Exercise. Stella got her groove back, but you can't get your intestines back when they're necrotic. Edit. And of course, in true Reddit fashion, my highest upvoted comment is about literally dying from poo. You little poos. Thank you for the awards. I love you.
Depression and other mental health problems.
Giving birth.
Had a friend from high school recently lose his wife giving birth to their second child. I do not have the details, but she either bled internally or had a blood clot, maybe both. Had to have an emergency C-section. She'd been told beforehand a C-section was a better choice for her, but she wanted a traditional delivery. She was dead within an hour of giving birth to their daughter.
Alcoholism. It's all, teehee, mommy needs her wine. And, look at this sunscreen bottle that doubles as a secret flask. Until your liver gives out in your mid-40s. It's sad that our culture has made alcoholism into some type of cute joke instead of recognizing how much it can destroy your body and life, and the lives of those around you.
The organ damage can occur way faster than a lot people realize too, at least than I did. I always kind of assumed you'd have to be a raging alcoholic for like decades to get to that point. But all it took was a little over a year for me of daily heavy drinking to land me in the hospital with pancreatitis, fatty liver, and alcoholic hepatitis. Liver is basically swollen and enlarged from the alcohol. And I was told this was the stage right before permanent scarring starts to occur. Definitely scared the poo out of me and got me to stop drinking.
Bullying happens in workplaces all the time. We teach kids about bullying, but we really haven't got a handle on it as adults.
Leftover rice. A really easy way to get food poisoning.
This is the only one I've been shocked by so far.
Cows kills around 20 people a year in the US. And #X200B. Asterisk, you're more likely to be killed by a dog or cow in the US than a shark or crocodile. Here's where the 11 deadliest animals live. Asterisk. Link.
Thank you for watching. We upload new videos every day, so be sure to come back for more fun. Please consider liking and subscribing if you enjoyed the video.